Hi, guys. Sorry about that. Internet. Okay, so everybody cross your fingers. Okay, everybody keep your fingers crossed because, guys, it has been pouring down rain for the past 2 days. And we actually have like major flooding in the area. And so the internet has been down. And it's back up at the moment. So cross your fingers that we continue to have internet for the entire show because it would totally be my luck that it would go away. Like school even started 2 hours late this morning because of all of the raining and flooding. So again, cross your fingers. Cross your fingers. I'm hoping we continue to stay connected the entire time. Hey Stacia, how are you, my friend? I'm doing good. I'm sleepy this morning. Like I have the yawns, you know, where you're not really tired, but you're just like kind of drowsy. I think it's from the rain. Katie says, love my earrings. Thank you. Thank you. So these were made from one of the amazing Nightmare Before Christmas strands. And what a great segue for that. You guys, right now it is buy two, get one free. The entire Nightmare Before Christmas limited edition collection, and the code for that is Skellington. Reminds me that when everybody finally gets here to like say that one again. Because that's a really important one. Like don't, oh, Suzanne's sitting at the dentist's office. I'm sorry. That sounds like absolutely no fun. I've got that coming up myself. Debbie says, hey, Sarah. Hey, friend. Oh, Kathleen's here on time. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Anita. So glad to see everybody this morning. So, yeah, the weather. Guys, it's crazy. Hey, Tracy. How are you doing? There's Miss Joy. Oh, yes, we're having really bad wind gusts too. Nancy says she's in South Carolina and they're having bad wind gusts. You can actually hear it. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not, but the wind, it whips around the house like it's been going on for 2 days with all of this rain. It sounds like we're going to just take off and fly away. It's crazy. Crazy, crazy. I had to say yawn. Now she's yawning. I know, I'm just so sleepy, but I really think it is the rain. I'm not necessarily tired. I'm just like, ooh, I could curl up and take a nap kind of feeling. Toadstools growing in the backyard from all the rain. Yeah, we do too. They're weird. Okay, so you guys, all right, looks like we got a packed house. So let's get down to it, shall we? A lot of things to talk about. I'll re-say that because I do feel like we've got a lot of people here now. So if you missed it just a second ago, I mentioned that the Nightmare Before Christmas limited edition collection, that's where these earrings came from, is buy two, get one free right now. Do you get that? So it means that whatever's left is going to go really, really quickly because there are people that have been waiting to get their hands on that. So take advantage of that. The code for that is Skellington. And if you don't know how to spell that, or if you forget about it, you can go to the Jesse James Beads Facebook, or not Facebook page, but the website, and it's in one of the banners that comes by. Like the banner that's at the top of the page, it changes and tells you all of the new information that you need to know. That's one of them. So that code will be right there if you need it. Something else is I want to touch back on our weekly deals. Sorry, distracted. Shiny things. So the weekly deals are free shipping this week with $139 carts. Guys, that includes a 6-month subscription to the Magical Mystery Bead Box. So if you are looking to get your hands on that and start your subscription for that, you can get the free shipping, which is pretty darn cool, might I add. And also thinking about the free shipping is kind of tying into that is the Destination North Pole. Guys, there's 22 spots left. Only 22 spots. And the free shipping will apply to that as well. Guys, get on board with that one. We're going to have so much fun. And speaking of Destination North Pole, the winners for the free seats, right, will be announced at the end of today's project. So stick around for that if you want to find out who wins. That's so cool. So, so cool. All right, and then we also have 30% off of purple, green, orange, and black, and the code for that is ZOINKS. which is just super cute. And definitely take advantage of that. Just because it's purple, just because it's green, just because it's orange, just because it's black, doesn't mean you have to use it for Halloween stuff. But those are the Halloween colors, traditionally speaking. And so as a gift to everybody, all of those colors are 30% off right now with Zoinks. And then, of course, you can get a free connector with a $29 cart, and the code for that is Get Connected. So definitely take advantage of that. So many deals going on. We've got 3 of the weekly deals, plus the buy 2 get 1 free on the Nightmare Before Christmas collection. A lot of good stuff. There are going to be winners announced at the end of the project, and I feel like there's something else I need to tell you, but I can't remember what it was. Oh, hate it when that happens, but it'll come to me. Oh, I know what it was. You guys, yesterday was What's New Wednesday, which means that there are brand new strands. Have you seen the brand new strands? Ooh la la. I have them right here. So over on the website, if you go check out what's new, these are the first thing that will come up. There are brand new strands. I've got them all right here. We're going to use one of them in our project today. And I'm going to show you each individual one so that you can ooh and ah over it. And, you can, take a little peek, see which ones you want, add those to your cart, and we'll make something with one of them. So I've got all of them except one right here. This one's the one that we're going to be using. This one is called Luxurious, or is it Lustrous? Lava. It's red. It's the red strand. It's the one that I love. Of course, it's the one that I went to use for our project today. So that's what we're going to be using. But I will show you all of these, give you a quick little peek-see-poo of all of these. And then for our project today, we're actually going to create a bracelet and we're going to do an earring. So we're going to do a combo. These are both kind of quick to do. And I don't mean like quick as in, not worth hanging around for. Like, I'm going to show you some cool components. We're going to make some cones. We're also going to make a toggle, and we're going to use some of the multicolor wire. I haven't even taken it out of the package. So this is what we are going to use in conjunction with our strand. So it doesn't take a whole lot of materials to create today's project, but you are going to need your artistic wire mandrel tool or something similar so that you can make your toggle nice and round. Okay. All right, so let's get down to business so that we can look at all of these gorgeous strands. A handful of yum. I agree, Wanda. I agree so much. Okay, so let's go through these. Let's go through them kind of quick. I don't want to take too long here, but I do want to give you all of the names and give you just a quick little peek here. So this is Evergreen Dreams. I'll get it out of my hand so that you can actually look at it without all the shadows going on here. But gosh, it's so pretty. So pretty. The boho beads, you've got 3 of those. You've got some glass pearls running through here and your check glass beads as well as the rondelles. Like, this is a gorgeous strand. This is one of those strands that you can use all winter long. You can mix this in for your holiday pieces if you wanted to, but that green color is going to get you all the way through spring, which is awesome. This is just a really beautiful strand. Let's sit that one right here for a second. Okay, and the next one is Living Lakeside. This is probably in my top favorites of all of these. It's hard for me to pick a favorite, to be honest with you, but I'm always drawn to this beautiful teal blues, kind of turquoisey colors, and then that pop of lime green is just phenomenal. So this one's got the 4 bohos. You have this kind of milky white rondelles that are in here that are gorgeous, and these guys never get any love. I don't know what the name of these is, but every time I see these, I grab them. I have a little collection of these they have that beautiful sparkle, that kind of iridescent flash to them, and I save them because I love them. They remind me of mermaids, and so every time I have these in something, I sit them to the side. I'm saving them up. I don't know what for, but eventually I'm going to do something fantastic with them. I know you guys can relate. You guys do the same thing, I'm sure. You have your favorite beads that you grab and you sit them to the side with the intentions of using them, and then maybe you just keep hoarding them. I don't know. All right, this one reminds me of my friend Jane. Immediately when I saw this, I thought of her. This is the Perfectly Purple strand, and you guys, this is absolutely gorgeous. First thing to notice is the hearts that are on here. Look at those hearts. They are so pretty. You've got 3 gorgeous purple bohos. The purple drops. Can we just stop and look at those? Yes, 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 yes. Love those so much. Some gorgeous glass purple beads on here. This strand is just really, really beautiful. And yesterday I was talking about needing more purple beads in my life. Like, my purple bead stash is very, very low. And this definitely kind of scratches that itch for me because I need more purple in my life. And I'm feeling it with that strand. Just so beautiful. All right, the next one, this is in my very, very top pick. This is Renaissance Gala, or Gala, however you want to say it. There is something about this strand that I was immediately drawn to, and I'm not real sure what it is, because it's more of a neutral, but it's stunning. It is so beautiful. You have your drop beads in this kind of coffee creamer color. You've got the squares, which you guys know I love. I also love the wooden beads. The fabric beads are gorgeous. The boho in the center. Like, what is not to love about this strand? It's gorgeous. I love it. I can't put my finger on just one thing about it that I am obsessed with, but this is probably my number 2 favorite strand out of all of these, and they're gorgeous. They're all so pretty. It's so hard to choose, but I am really, really drawn to this one. All right, next up is Into the Ocean, another gorgeous blue. So if you're not feeling the teal color, the turquoisey color, this one's got some deeper blue, and this one has an extra treat because not only does it have the gorgeous blue bohos, but you also have the rose beads. And guys, the roses on here look like velvet. They're not, but that is how that color on them appears in person. It's so luxurious, just really, really gorgeous. It's got your cage beads. You've got some big, beautiful cobalt blue rondelles, as well as the cool squares that I just love. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, very royal and regal strand. All right, still not through. We've got Young Love. This one is another one that the colorway I'm obsessed with. And I'm not necessarily a pink person, but this is more of like a rose. Hi, Tammy. How you doing? So the rose and the gray, that combination is a combination that I never think to put together, but man, it works. It's so gorgeous. You've got this amazing glass drop in the center that is just so, I don't even know how to explain it. Like, it looks like crazy high-end jewelry, right? I mean, can you imagine? Why, yes, that is a diamond, a black diamond. Thank you for asking. And then you have the gorgeous rose beads. And again, the coating, that color on those roses, it looks like velvet. I don't know how they do it, but it's just gorgeous. You've got the gorgeous beads in here, these pink ones. And I know these are something. I believe these are agate, but I am not sure. But gosh, they're pretty. And you've got bohos and squares and drops, or cubes and drops rather. So I'm feeling like this whole collection, because there are, my favorite shapes are included. The squares and the drops, I'm so in love. But I love this color combination. Really, really pretty. Makes me think outside of my color combo box, because that rose color and gray is something that I should use, you know, I should use that. So next is Pastel Rose Garden. This is another gorgeous one that's going to get you through the winter time, but also right on into spring because of the colors that are used here. Gosh, it's so pretty. So you've got your kind of creamy colors. The rose beads in here have that kind of rose gold champagne color on them. You've got beautiful boho, cage beads. These drops on the ends are awesome. Awesome. You've got your gray rondelles. I'm just really, really a fan of this one. This one's probably, might be number 3 in my favorites. It's just so hard to pick. I really, really love that one. And then you've got Meet Me at Midnight. This is a classic black and white. You cannot go wrong with black and white and the clear that is in here. So you've got this gorgeous black boho. I need more black bohos in my life. that with the purple beads, like I need more black bohos. They're so classy and cool. And they go with everything. Like a black boho is like a little black dress. You can put it with literally anything, which is fabulous. You've got these gorgeous clear rondelles, which are my favorite. And then you've got the drops on the end, which you guys know. I don't have to tell you how much I love those. You have the amazing, huge black bicones. These are so classy and fun. And then you also have the white bicones, some little black flat faceted beads. You've got the black Fimo. Like this strand has everything you need to put together something that you can dress up or dress down. It's really gorgeous. Really, really beautiful. Like all of these strands are simply amazing. Let me pull them all out here. There's one strand I haven't talked about yet, and that's the one we're going to use for the project today, but I did want to give you kind of a last peek at the group minus the one we're going to use, because you're going to get lots of looking at it. Gorgeous. Joy says, well, JJB adopt me because I'm going to go broke buying all these. I know, but gosh, they're so pretty. It's so hard to choose. And it's like they release all these babies and you want them all. Like you don't want to separate them. It's like a family. You need them all. At least that's how I feel about it, right? Okay, so I'm going to slide these on over out of the way, and then I'm going to bring in the strands that we're going to use today. This one is Luxurious Lava, and I restrung this and actually left out a bead. So here's a little rogue guy that belongs on the strand, and he, for whatever reason, snuck out when I was restringing this one. So this is my favorite out of all of them. This one is my number one favorite, with that Renaissance Gala as my second favorite. If I had to choose, like if you were holding me at gunpoint and said I needed to choose a favorite, I would have to choose this one because I love the red. You guys know how I feel about red. I want all red in my life. And the combination with this kind of creamy color, I don't even know what you would call this color. It's not peach. It's not necessarily beige in the gray family either. It's like a really soft tan with like that kind of champagne feel to it. I don't know. It's not quite off-white. It's just pretty. I don't care what you call it. And the boho in the center with the mother of pearl chips all over it is really stunning. And it has those pops of glitter in between there. I don't know if you can see or not, but it has this shimmer to it that is just amazing. And I'm feeling the antique brass through this. I was about to make up a word that didn't exist. I really, really love this one. I really am feeling it. You've got 3 gorgeous bohos, and there's even some antique copper running through here. So you could use any kind of metal with this if you wanted to. This is what we're going to use for our project today, and I feel like it goes beautifully with the multicolor wire in the red, gold, and black. I'm going to pop this out of the package so that we've got it. I'm going to be using the 20 gauge Champagne Blush. That's a really good way to describe that color. I like that. So this is a multicolor wire in 20 gauge, and I really feel like it really, really goes. Some people might not think so, but I think that it looks so good. And when you see what we're going to do with this wire, I think that you will be pretty excited about it. So what exactly are we going to do? Let me show you. I'm going to show you how to very easily make cones. We're going to make 2 cones for the ends of our bracelet. And then we're going to make some earrings to go with it too. And we're going to make some of these smaller little cones, which I think are super, super cool. And if you're into messy wire wrapping, this is totally your speed, right? This is so fun. So we're going to make some cones, and then we're also going to make a toggle, which you guys, I just kind of made this up. This is not an official, like, technique. I don't know what you would call it, but I've been playing kind of freestyle with wire. You guys know yesterday we put together that 3-loop connector with a bead. Like we were just playing around, playing with wire. That's kind of how this whole toggle thing came in to play. I was just playing with wire, and I just wanted to show you that this is possible, right? So it's not hard to do. We're going to do it, and you know, either you'll use it or you won't, and that's okay. But at least you'll have this in your toolbox, right? Okay, so let's get started with the project. The first thing I want to do, you guys, excuse me for doing so. I've got to pull up the picture because I can't remember exactly which beads in which order for our bracelet. Okay, so you're not going to need a whole lot of tools for today's project. You're just going to need your standard tools plus the artistic wire mandrel to make that round shape for your toggle. And we are going to go ahead and cut our strand apart. And then we are going to restring this guy. And here's the thing. I'm going to restring mine onto a piece of this wire. However, you can restring this on bead stringing wire. You don't have to do this on this artistic wire if you don't want to. Okay, it just really kind of depends. If you like the structure that you get from the artistic wire, definitely use it. If not, and you want more drape, go with the bead stringing wire, but either one is perfectly acceptable. Okay, so actually before we string this onto a large section, we need to go ahead and make our 2 cones for the end, because the cones are going to actually be the first thing that we string onto our long strand of wire here. So let's get down to business with the cones. Okay, so to create these cones, you're going to need about 18 to 20 inches of this wire, and it's really kind of up to you as far as the measurement is concerned, because you can really get kind of crazy going over this and building it up. So you're going to need more wire for that. Or if you just want to keep it, you know, simple, 18 inches of the wire is going to be perfect for you. I'm using the 20 gauge just because I like the bulk of the 20. You can do it with a 22, but the cones to me feel a little soft. Okay, so go ahead and grab yourself about 18 to 20 inches of this multicolored wire here. Okay, now we're going to use our round nose pliers, which, oh gosh, forgot that I had already cut that. I'm going to move these over here to the side for a second. Oh, beads rolling all over the place. Okay, so I'm going to use my round nose pliers for this. And depending on what size your round nose pliers are, yes, they come in sizes, which I don't mean necessarily that they come in measurements, but what I mean is not all round nose pliers are created equally. Mine are on the smaller side. So you can see the mandrel on my round nose pliers is very small. Even at the widest point, I've only got about a 4 millimeter loop back here. Other pliers that are made a little bit differently, the mandrel gets a little bit wider at the base, and I've seen some that go all the way up to a 6 millimeter loop. So just keep all of that in mind. If you're not using the exact same size pliers that I'm using, then your wire measurements may be a little bit different and your cone may come out a little bit different as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open the pliers up completely, all the way up, okay, or all the way open, and they'll stay that way. I don't have to hold on to them, okay? Now I'm going to take my wire and I'm just going to kind of lay it somewhere in this general area. Anywhere, doesn't matter where. Give yourself about 1 inch of a tail, and that's just so that you can kind of hold on to it, okay? Now, I'm just going to use one of the mandrels, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to wrap the wire around the mandrel, and I'm holding everything tight, okay? Keeping my thumb down on the tail to hold it nice and tight, and I'm wrapping pretty tight around. I want those wraps to be pretty close together. If you don't want them to be close together, you can have some spaces in between there. It looks really cool that way. Okay, and I'm just going to wrap all the way around to the very top. Okay, now before I go back down, you absolutely can leave it just like this. You've got a nice clean cone, looks awesome. You don't have to do the messy, okay? If you like a nice clean look, that's perfect. But I like to kind of make it more textured, so I'm going to turn around and go back over my wraps, just kind of in a messy fashion. Like I'm not just kind of willy-nilly on that, right on back down to the bottom. And that just gives it some texture. And the cool part is that multicolored wire, you get so much of the color in there that messy, it just adds so much dimension because you've got the layer of color in the first layer, and then your layering of the color over the top of it, it just makes a really cool effect, right? All right, taking it off, and now you can see we've got a cone-shaped bead. Pretty much. You can string this like a bead. You can use it at the end of a design or as a tassel topper or whatever you want to do with it. That was easy peasy, right? Nothing hard about that, but a really cool addition to whatever you're creating. And the cool part about it is that you don't even have to do this with the multicolored wire. I like it with the multicolored wire just because I like all that color. But you can do the exact same thing with your silver, with your gold, with your antique brass, whatever color wire you like to use, you can make cones out of it. It doesn't have to be this multicolor stuff, but the multicolor sure makes it cool. So I'm just going to trim off any excess wire that we don't need, right? And I'm still making sure that I've got a nice clean opening for our cone so that I can thread it on, right? So there's one, and we need another one to go on the other end. Now, the cool part about using your pliers for this is that you're gonna have consistency. So the next cone is gonna be exactly the same size. Like, there's no question about it. You just, you know, if you use the pliers, you're gonna have a second cone exactly the same. All right, so I'm going to need another 18 to 20 inch piece of this multicolor wire. Okay, trim that off, leaving the pliers open, lay that across there, just holding on to it. Okay, and now we're going to wrap around the mandrel of the pliers. And you can see I'm pulling as I'm wrapping to make sure that it's nice and tight. Just wrapping all the way up. Okay, so I've come all the way up to the top. And again, if you like the clean look, you can just trim off the top of the wire here and you've got a really clean cone. Looks awesome. I like the messy, so I'm going to go back over it. Just kind of wrapping around, no real, just kind of going around it to give it some extra texture. Okay, sliding it off, and then I'm going to trim off the tails. Okay, so now I have two cones and they're the same size. One might be like one wrap longer, but I mean, that's not a deal breaker to me. That's not even a noticeable amount, but I've got two cones, which are really, really cool to go on the end of our bracelet. So let's put the bracelet together real quick. And to do that, I'm going to use another piece of our 20 gauge multicolor wire here, and don't need a ton of this, but you want to be sure that you give yourself enough so that you can do wrapped loops on either end if you're going to string it onto this. So give yourself probably, I would say, about 12 inches just to be on the safe side. Okay, now we're going to come to one end and we're going to make a wrapped loop. So I'm going to come down on the wire about an inch with my chain nose pliers and give it a bend. Okay. Now I'm going to come in with the round nose pliers, grab the wire, so this is running between the barrel of the pliers, going up and over, roll the pliers out of the way and guide the wire over to the other side to complete our loop. And then I'm just going to take that wire and wire wrap underneath our loop about 3 times. Whoops, got a little short. But I had just enough for my 3 wraps, and I'm going to come in and trim off my tail. Whoops. Okay. All right, now I'm going to thread on our beads, but I'm going to start with one of my cones. So I'm going to just thread on the cone and slide it right on up to the wrapped loop. And because the wrapped loop is made out of that multicolor wire, it looks like one entire piece, which is super cool. Right? That's part of the reason that I used the multicolor wire as our stringing material. because it just looks so seamless. Really, really cool. All right, so now we're going to take some beads from our strand, and you can thread these on however you want to, because the strand looks so darn cool in any order. I mean, it's made to go together, but I'm going to thread on one of the little rondelles, and let me go ahead and move. All right, now I can really get to my beads here. I'm going to thread on one of the antique copper spacers. Okay, I'm going to thread on one of these cream colored bicones, or that champagne-y color. Catherine says, am I on here? You are on here, my friend. Welcome. All right, I'm going to thread on one of these guys. Love that. Okay, one of the big kind of metal looking bead. I really like that. One of these little daisy spacers. And again, you can do any order that you want. I'm just kind of, you know, threading this on larger or smaller to larger beads, but you don't have to use this exact pattern by any means. Okay, one of those. I'm going to thread on one of the red Fimo beads, and then our large boho for the center. So that's going to be the pattern. Right? I'm just going to repeat that on the other side, and I'll have beads left over, which is perfect because we want to make some matching earrings to go with this too. So we'll be able to do that. Okay. And the boho. And our metal bead. One of the spacers. Our rondelle, another one of the spacers, and then our red bead and our cone. So all of that is on. Okay. And now we're ready to add our cone to the end. We've got our cone. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do another wrapped loop here at the end. Okay. So same thing. I'm just going to come in with my chain nose pliers. I'm grabbing that wire right where it is exiting the cone. Give it a bend. Bringing the round nose pliers in to go up and over. Roll the pliers out of the way, and then I will wire wrap. And this will look very seamless next to our cone. Just looks like one entire piece. So cool. And trim that off. All right, now because it's on wire, now I can really shape it, right? I can shape it into the bracelet shape. Whereas if you're on bead stringing wire, you're gonna have that natural drape anyway, but with the 20 gauge wire as the core, you definitely kind of have to coax it into that shape, but it doesn't take much. It's not like it's super hard or anything, but it's definitely going to retain its shape, which is cool. And of course you can open it back up and then bend it right back into shape. Now what we need here is some sort of connection, right? Let me move all these little beads out of the way. So I thought it would be fun, since we're playing with wire and the beads are so gorgeous, they're really kind of telling their own story. What is the length so far? I'll tell you in just a second. So we're going to put together a little toggle. Okay, this is not hard. Let me grab the ruler. I'll tell you the length of the bracelet so far. So we've got exactly 7 inches for the bracelet. That's without the clasp. Okay, so we're right at 7 inches for this. Pretty good. And so you obviously want to add about 1 inch for your clasp. So altogether it'll be about an 8-inch bracelet, which is a little big for me, but not for a lot of other people. So if you need to make any adjustments size wise, you can add jump rings, or you can maybe take a couple of the spacer beads out if you want to, or just reconfigure the bead placement altogether. Okay, so now we're going to put together a toggle, and like I said when I was talking about the toggle before, this is not like an official toggle technique, okay? This is just something that I came up with while I was sitting and kind of playing with the wire, and you know, if it works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's okay. I've only done this 2 times, so I mean, we could be potentially making a hot mess. But I like to use the artistic wire mandrel tool for this, and I'm using it right at the 15 millimeter ring here. So if you want a smaller toggle, obviously you're gonna go smaller for the ring, but I'm gonna use the 15 millimeter section. So if you don't have the artistic wire mandrel tool, you want to look for something round to use. I would say probably an not an expo marker, but like a highlighter marker is probably right around that. Oh, thank you, Wanda. I like it. I like it. Somebody told me yesterday I was saucy. I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling it. Today I'm un fuego. And yesterday I was saucy. So I don't know. It's because it's my time of the year. I'm really missing Halloween stuff, you guys, but I've still got Halloween in my soul, you know? Okay, now a couple of things to mention with the toggle. I do not have a measurement of the wire for the toggle because it's going to be up to you. And I bundled the wire into a circle here, and I bundled around, I think I went around the mandrel 4 times. If you want a thicker toggle or a thinner toggle, then of course your measurements for the toggle itself, the ring portion, is going to be completely different. Okay, totally different. So unfortunately, I can't give you a really good wire measurement on this one. Whereas it definitely takes 18 to 20 inches to make cones. I'm not so sure about this guy. That's going to kind of depend on you, but I know that it doesn't take a ton. Okay, it's not a huge project. And I'm actually going to work off of the spool, which makes it a little bit easier too. So you don't even have to do the measurements. But I'm going to take the wire and I'm going to leave myself a little bit of a tail, okay? And I'm going to wrap around that 15 millimeter section of the artistic wire mandrel tool, and I'm going to go around it about 4 times, okay? And then I do want to give myself a little extra here for the bundling. So I'm going to give myself probably 5 or 6 inches of a tail. Okay. Now I'm going to very carefully slide this off, and I'm holding all of those bundles together. Okay. Holding all that wire in a ring. Now I don't care if it is lined up flat. I don't care if it's a bundle and they're overlap, makes no difference to me. I'm going to take my wire, my big long tail, I'm going to take it and tuck it to the inside of the loop. All our pieces here, kind of pinching them all together, and I'm just going to wrap around all of those rings about 2 times. Now I can let go. Okay, now I have a ring, and it's, you know, I may have actually, it's a little bit smaller than the one that I initially made, but not by much. Okay. And now I want to take our little short end of the wire, and I want to do the same thing. I'm just going to take it to the inside. Okay. If you struggle and you don't want to use your fingers, you can always come in with your pliers. I'm just going to wrap it around. And I'm further down than the first wraps, right? Just kind of bundle all those wires together and then trim off your tail. Okay, so that piece is gone, and we're still working with the long tail, which is a little bit longer than, than what we need. But I mean, you guys know, you're used to my antics by now. Okay, now I'm going to come down a little bit. Okay, so I'm just kind of guiding that wire down over here. Just kind of laying it against the surface here. It's not perfect. I'm okay with it. And again, I'm going to actually this one I'm gonna bring my tool in for. Okay. So we want a loop. Notice how our toggle has a loop. Before we do any wire wrapping for our little bundle, we're gonna bring in our round nose pliers and just kind of position them in there between all of the rings, right? Just like that. anywhere you want. Just guide that wire to make a loop, okay? Now, hold on to that loop and lock it in place by just doing another little section of wire wrapping. Now, the cool thing about this is that we're making a toggle out of ours, but you can use these rings, these bundles of wire, for so many other things, right? I mean, they look cool just by themselves. You can hang beads from them and do whatever you want to with them. Okay, now my loop is facing me. I want my loop to be facing side to side. So all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna grab a hold of the loop with my pliers and just give it a twist. Now it's facing that way, right? There's a little section of it kind of sticking up too much. I'm just gonna squeeze it down with my pliers, put it down on the surface. Like, you use your pliers to just kind of, you know, put it where you want it to go. Don't fight with it. Just make it do what you want. All right, now I'm going to do one more little bundle section. So I'm going to guide the wire down and we're going to wrap around one more little section of wire wraps just to kind of keep it even looking. And then we'll trim off our tail and our ring portion of our toggle will be done. Okay, and trim that off. Now you'll notice that the spacing of my bundles is not really even. If that bugs you, you can make these nice and even. This one was a little bit more even, kinda. I had more bundles, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I had 5 bundles on this one. They're pretty evenly spaced. With this one, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 bundles. This one probably could have come down a little bit more, but I mean, really and truly, nobody is going to notice. Nobody's going to notice if your wire wraps are not evenly spaced on this. But now you've got the ring, right? And I've got 2 different sizes here. That is all you need for a toggle, right? It's just a ring. Now we're going to do the toggle bar. The toggle bar is the part that I really kind of fussed with the most. It's not hard. It was just, I don't know. I needed the ruler. That part didn't make me happy. I don't like to use the ruler. But I mean, this is pretty straightforward. So again, you want to give yourself about, I don't know, 8 inches of wire. You need a little bit to do the little wire wrapping in here, okay? So trim your wire. And the first thing we want to do is we want to start in the middle, okay? So I'm going to bring my round nose pliers in and I'm going to just wrap around to make a loop, okay? All right, now from that loop, I want another loop that is a 1/2 inch away. So I'm going to put my loop on my ruler, okay? There it is. And I want to start measuring from the very, very edge of that loop. There's the 1/2 inch mark. I'm going to place my pliers. Can you see? I'm sorry, my hand was in the way. I'm grabbing the wire right at that 1/2 inch mark. Okay. And I just want to take my wire at that 1/2 inch mark and make another loop. Okay. Now I'm going to take all of this wire and I'm just going to wire wrap between here. That's going to really firm this up and make it more sturdy. If you just cut it off like this 20 gauge wire is not sturdy enough. You would really have to work hard on this on your block to make it nice and firm. So to keep from doing that, I'm going to keep the loop on my pliers here and I'm just going to use the wire to wire wrap between our loops. I'm going slow, okay? And you can messy wrap right here if you want to, but I wouldn't messy wrap until you get a base layer of the wire wraps down, just to kind of build up the strength of this first, right? All right, so I'm right up to the center loop and I'm just going to come in with my cutter tool and snip off the tail, okay? So there's our center, there's our edge, right? So you can see for our toggle bar. Now I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. Okay, so place it down on the ruler, right at the edge of the loop. There's the 1/2 inch mark. Grabbing the wire with my round nose pliers, guide the wire up and over. There's our loop. Okay, put it back on the pliers, and then you just want to wire wrap in that space. Now, again, this is not perfection, okay? This is not perfect. This is not the most perfect toggle I've ever seen in my life. This is not an official how to make a toggle. But, you know, if you're playing around with wire, and I told you guys yesterday, you literally can make anything you want out of wire. This is just kind of me reiterating that, you know, kind of driving that point home. Picture in your mind what it is that you want, and then maybe draw it on paper first if you need to, right? But use the wire to make anything you want. If you're out of components, there's no reason, if you've got a wire stash, yeah, that you can't improvise with what you've got and make what you need. Now, it's not the prettiest toggle in the whole world, but it's a cool one. Nobody else has got one. Clean up my loops a little bit, right? And that's all you need is just a bar and a ring. And that's what we've got. And it matches, right? You can always adjust the measurements and shorten it up if you want to. You can adjust the measurements and make your loop bigger, smaller, whichever one you need. I've got 2 different ones to choose from here, right? So you can see the size adjustment. And then all you need is just a couple of jump rings to add this to your piece. So I've got 3 4mm jump rings, and I'm going to use the bigger one, but it really doesn't make much of a difference, you guys. I'm going to open up the 4mm jump ring. Hold on, I'm missing a pair of pliers. Where have they gone? How did my pliers disappear? I need another pair of pliers to do this. My bent pliers are MIA. All right, so I'm just going to open up a 4mm jump ring. Okay, attach that to the loop on our toggle ring, and then attach that to the wrapped loop on the end of our bracelet on one end. Okay, done. And then I'm going to attach the toggle to the other end, and I'm going to use 2 jump rings for this because I need a little extra wiggle room in there. So I like to use 2 jump rings just to kind of give it a little extra space. So there's, actually, let's do, it doesn't matter. I already did it. I'm over here stressing about the which jump ring I do first. Does it really matter in the end? It does not. So see, that's going to give a little extra length between the actual bar and the bracelet itself. All right, close that back. And that's it, you guys. You got a toggle, and it matches. The whole thing matches. Whoops. It does work, I promise. It does work. Ta-da! So, now, let's make a quick pair of earrings to go with this. So we've got a cool bracelet. We're using this multicolor wire. We have some beads left over. So let's make some earrings real quick. And we're going to kind of tie this whole look together. So we're going to make some shorter cones. Show you how to do that. And we will put those together just really quick. And that'll be it for our project, you guys. Super easy to do. All right, so we're going to start out again with another 18 inches, which actually you don't need a full 18 inches for this one, but we're just going to keep it consistent. Okay, so I'm going to do 2 small cones, and for the smaller cones, since they're shorter, I'm actually going to start out with the base the same length. Okay, so same steps as before, just wire wrap around your round nose pliers. okay, all the way up here to the top. Now when we turn around to come back, I don't have to double wrap all the way. I'm just going to kind of go to about halfway with my wire wraps because I don't want the full length of the cone. I only want half of the length of the cone. So take it off. I'm going to trim off that little excess tail that I have there. And now I'm going to come in with my fingernail and just kind of go between two of the wraps and then kind of pull it apart. Now I can get in there very, very easily with my cutter tool and cut off. And now I have a little baby cone, right? It's not the same as the full length cone. It's only about half the length. And then I still have this left over, which if you trim this up, trim off the gnarly pieces here, all that little extra bits that you don't need. You can either cut this apart and use it as jump rings if you wanted to, or you can use this as some sort of spacer. I never trash these pieces. I always save these because I always find that I have a reason to use those little coils for something extra. So I'm just going to sit that to the side. Okay. So what you need for the earrings is just two of the little short cones. I've already got one ready to go, so I've got two ready. Okay. Now for the earrings, we are going to do these in two sections, and we're going to start with this guy. I'm going to grab about 4 inches of the multicolor wire. Okay. I'm going to thread it. I'm going to thread that bead onto it, kind of bring the bead to the middle. Okay. Actually, you know what? I need more than 4 inches. I forgot. Give yourself a little bit more. Give yourself about 6 inches. I'm going way overboard, but I just want to be sure that I have plenty of wire for this. Okay. Thread your bead on. Come kind of to the middle. It doesn't have to be exact. And then you're going to take the 2 wires and bring them up to a little triangle over the top of the bead. So they're kind of crisscrossing each other. Okay. One of those wires, I want to come in with my pliers and bend straight up and down. Okay. The other wire, I want to bend out this direction. Okay. Now I'm going to take that wire and wrap around the up and down wire about 2 times. And if you want to continue with the messy look, you can come back around and just wrap back over all of that and just use up whatever tail you've got left and then just trim that off. Okay. All right. Now we've still got plenty of wire here. So we're going to thread on a bead, one of the red beads from the Strand. Okay. And we're just going to do a wire wrapped loop at the top of this guy. And we're going to make it a messy loop. So I'm going to double it up. So I'm going to go ahead, just follow the same steps. Go up and over. Roll the pliers out of the way. Take the wire over here to the other side. I'm going to wrap. And then I'm going to just take the tail and just kind of wrap around that as well. Make it kind of chunky monkey. Just so that everything kind of has the same feel to it, right? And trim that off. All right, now I'm going to add to the top of this. Now, at this point, you can make 2 totally different pairs of earrings. You can just add an ear wire to this one, and that makes a cool earring, and the top section of this is going to make a cool earring too. Or you can make a really long earring, which is what I'm going to do. But just know that this long earring, this kind of shoulder duster style, is something that not everybody likes. So you can split this into 2 separate earrings if you want to, okay? So I'm just going to take another piece of wire, the multicolor, just a shorter piece. This is that kind of 4-inch piece that I cut the first time. And I'm going to start a wrapped loop. Okay. Before I do the wire wrapping though, I want to take the tail end of the wire and stick it through the loop on this beaded section that we've already done. And I'm going to wire wrap these together just so that I don't use any jump rings. The jump rings add extra length and they're really just not super necessary. Okay. Trim that off. If you've got extra, you can do that kind of messy wrap over the top of it. I didn't leave myself enough tail to do that, but that's okay. Okay, now I'm going to thread on the drop bead from our strand, and then I'm going to slide down one of these gorgeous cones, and it's going to fit right over the top of the drop, right? And then we are just going to do a wire wrapped loop at the top and add an ear wire, and that will be that. Hold on. So up and over, roll the pliers out of the way, and then do the wire wrap. And again, it's going to look pretty seamless with our cone. Whoops. And I'm going to trim that off. All right. Now I'm going to add an ear wire to this, and we're going to call it done. I will do the second earring off of camera because, I mean, you really just need to see one of the earrings. And in the picture, you guys are going to get both earrings. But I have the beads left over from the strand, right? I have 3 beads left. So in this project of a pair of earrings, or 2 if you break those down, okay, and the bracelet, I've used every single bead, and I have such a cool set here. So it could either be a bracelet and 2 pairs of earrings, or a bracelet and 1 pair of really long earrings, and I've used every single bead, and it all matches. It goes together. I've used this gorgeous multicolor wire. I didn't use any hardware other than an ear wire and 3 jump rings. The rest of it, we made all of the rest of it, which is so darn cool. So darn cool. So there you go. We've got a really cool earring, or 2. I know, that's a big earring. Let's see. Joan says, someone is asking you to show how to make an ear wire. I do not have the stuff on hand right here to do the ear wire, but we absolutely can. That's not today, but I will do that. Let's do that next week with one of our projects. We'll plan to make earrings at some point next week. Just come back and I'll show you guys how to do the ear wire with the stepped bell making pliers. Love them so much. So that's always a good trick to have on hand. And you absolutely could have done that here, and like the whole thing would have been. So you could have cut apart your little cone and used those jump rings as your jump rings to go here, right? To attach your toggle. And then you could have made your own ear wire, and the entire thing could have been all made by you. So pretty cool, pretty stinking cool. I know I say that a lot. Stinking pretty, stinking cool. Stinking is definitely a wonderful way to express your love of something. All right, I'm going to turn you guys around because I've got announcements to make, and I'm going to show you these earrings on, or at least the one that I made here. You are so welcome, Robin. You're so welcome. It was a fun one, right? It was a fun one. Guys, the beads are where it's at. Check the bracelet out. That's a beautiful bracelet. I'm just telling you. I love it. You've got your own little toggle that matches it. That's a cool bracelet. And then we're going to take that out. And again, this could be 2 earrings. I realize this is a long one, but I get a little excited. And how pretty is that? It's not like a big, large, and in charge crazy. The length is long, right? But it's as far as the design is concerned, it's understated. The wire and the beads, they marry very well together, you know, and just make a really cool thing. Yes, Tracy says she needs to order the luxurious lava strand. Yes, you do. It's so pretty. So pretty. Any of the strands are gorgeous. That was my favorite, but I mean, come on. There's so much to love. Pet them. Don't separate them. They need to go as a family. I would be terrible on like the Home Shopping Network. I'd be like, they all need to go together. You don't need one. You need them all. Could you imagine me selling Tupperware? Okay, so let me check my phone here. All right, we have winners. So Sarah has sent me the winners. Sylvia says, do your daughters wear your work? Sometimes. Not all the time. They're kind of picky. They do steal my favorite pieces though, which drives me crazy. But yeah, sometimes they do. Okay, so here are our winners of the Destination North Pole giveaway. Okay, let me pull you down just a little bit. You seem a little high up there in the air. All right, Melody Lake Collins. If you're here, raise your hand. Melody Lake Collins is winner number 1. Winner number 2 is Pamela Bahush Moore. If you're here, raise your hand. I'll pretend like I can see you. That's Pamela Bahush Moore. I hope I'm saying Bahush right. I apologize if I'm not. And then Stefana. Wow, that's a sassy name. I like that. Stefana West. Congratulations, you guys. Congratulations, Melody, Pamela, Stefana, you guys. Congratulations. Can't wait to see it. Destination North Pole. So cool. It's so cool. I love it. Fabulous. Way to go, ladies. Congratulations. Super, super cool. Yes, congratulations, all the winners. And guys, that'll be posted online too so that you can see them just in case they were not here or they missed it. But so awesome. All right, so just a quick recap. Number 1, you can do anything with wire. Anything at all. You got a question? Ask me. We'll make it with wire. I don't know. We'll try it and see what happens. Number 2, there are brand new bead strands. Go check those out. They are fabulous and gorgeous. And all you got to do is just go to the website. They're the first thing that come up. The what's new fabulousness, right? So many to choose from. The buy 2 get 1 free on the Nightmare Before Christmas is happening now. Take advantage, okay? Because a lot of people have been waiting on that deal to come around, and so those will get gone. That is not proper grammar, but those will get gone pretty quickly. And the code for that is Skellington. And if you're confused about the spelling of that one, it's on the website as well. It's in the banner. So definitely check that out. And the weekly deals, free shipping on $139 carts, 30% off green, red, black, and orange with the code ZOINKS. And last but not least is a free connector with a $29 order. And the code for that is Get Connected. All right, that's it. We've had a great week, you guys. If you want to see one more project, come hang out with me tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern on Sara Ellis Designs. Otherwise, you can catch me Monday at 7 p.m. here on Jesse James Beads with our Maker Monday series. And if I don't see you before then, you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I'm going to finish some things up and I might give in to that nap that's calling. This weather has got me sleepy. So if you wonder where I am, that's where I am, keeping the couch warm. All right, guys, have a great one. I'll see you soon. Bye.